Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Paul Adekwaji, and I'm the community manager for the International Center for Journalists, Pamela Howard Forum on Global Crisis Reporting. And today we will be doing something different, which is trying to put together a calendar that can serve a purpose of making it much easier for us to do some crisis reporting. I'm really, really happy considering the fact that we are seeing lots of interest for this particular session, and different forum members often complain about the challenges they often struggle with in keeping abreast of everything that is happening. So we said, why not let us have something to give you an idea and a starting point of what you can do and how you can make use of it and how you can strive to be better in coordinating and planning your crisis reporting for the year. So I would like us to start by you going to the chat box to let me know the crisis of interest that you report. So use your chat box to let us know which ones are of interest to you. So like I said, go to the chat box, let me know what kinds of crises, what kind of beats, what is your subjects of interest, so that these will be considered and could be given priority when in this session. So once again, use the chat box to let me know the kinds of issues that you cover in your reporting as a journalist, and if you have a specific issue, if you have a specific interest, or you have a specific question for me, yeah, use the Q and A forum. And so for me, a point where I would like to start is by talking about the selection of tools. There are different tools that you can use for this purpose. There are different tools that you can use to actually uh, put everything in place. Some people may want to use spreadsheets, and which means you would have to be going to this tool every day, which is not a bad idea if you are somebody that uses spreadsheets a lot. But for me, over the years, and something that I've found quite useful are the calendar apps. There are lots of calendar apps. And I think one thing, if you are using different services, you should find a way to ensure that these services are communicating to one another. So I want to endeavor to keep this as simple as possible. So what I would suggest you use would be Google Calendar. So I'm going to show my interface so that you are able to follow me to see how I intend to do it. So if you open your Google Calendar, there are you'll see the default settings, default layout. But for me, something I can just do here is you go to the calendar, then you talk about create new calendar. So we can just say crisis reporting, 2023 2024 crisis reporting calendar. So once you have that, you say that you click create a calendar. And when that is created, you've already seen there are different options here. You have different toggles here. So you click this, and you leave the settings, then you now start adding events. So, but the first question that comes to your mind is, where are we going to see uh, these these stuffs that are of interest to you? So for me, there are different ways for you to see it. But over the years, in my experience in this ecosystem, there are some websites, some international organizations that already have the most of these things arranged for you. So the first one that I would like you to do is the United Nations has a dedicated website for observance. And so if you go to un.org slash this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the link in the chat box so that you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So this takes you to the official days that the UN recognizes, and they categorize them into international days and weeks, international years, UN anniversaries, and international decades. So for the purpose of we can start with the international years. So what these years mean is that sometimes you will see some people will say, okay, 2024 is the year of so and so. So 2024 has a flagging for being described as the year of the camelids. So 2024 officially by the United Nations is the year of camelids. The year we highlight how camelids are key to the livelihood of millions of households across 90 countries. This may not be of relevance to me. This may not be of interest to me. And so I may not be interested in this. But if this is of interest to you, it simply means that all throughout the year, Camelis will be the interests of the UN, which means as a strategy, as a journalist, if this is of interest to you, because it's a year-long thing, it may not be time-bound, but it gives you sufficient time to plan it. So, but that's not something I'm interested in. So we'll now go back. So but we are looking next year is International Year of Glacier Preservation. This could be a really, really big deal for journalists that are covering climate change. The link is still not is not clickable yet, but you can do a search for that, and which means this could be of interest to you and you do it. I just wanted to show you the international years and how we can get it. So I think I promised I'll put the link in the chat box. So let me just do that. So this is where you start from, and I'm putting the link right now. The United Nations already has these where you can be importing some of these days for you. So now we go to the international days and international weeks. Already we are in February. Today is the first day of the month of February. So I say happy new month, and congratulations to everybody for making it this far. I hope your reporting has continually been what you desired them to be. So, but we're already in 2020 in February already. So which means we can continue from where we stopped. So this is World Interfaith Harmony Week. So it may be too late, but if this is something that is of interest to you, you click it, you have a lot of information around it, and it's quite properly done such that you can have some official document, international document for you to start your conversation. So since it's this week, February 1 to 7, all I need to do to put it in my calendar, which is already loading, is to go here and add an event. So the title would be World Interfaith Harmony Week. So since it's February 1 to February 7, so you set it up like that. Then this is where it gets interesting, where you can add details. I may be trying to be lazy, so all I just have to do is you can get information about that week as provided by the United Nations. You may decide to lift all of this to give you background information. So you can lift all of this. This information may be important to you. So you can lift all of this into the description of your calendar. Then probably you need support regarding source of additional tools for you to use. So this is where the access to documents come in. All you have to do is to gain here. But this is the hard work and boring aspect, but there are quicker approaches for you to do, which is for you to just pick this link because it already has all the information you want for that particular issue. So for me, I'll just delete everything. And because I know that this will be just the starting point for me in my reporting. So one other thing that you may need to do is localizing it. So which means you may need to be looking for who are the people you may want to talk to could be. So because we're already in the middle of it, I think as we go from one month to another, we can begin to see how the planning ahead comes in. But because we're already in the middle of the week of it is already starting today, you can just try and look for what are the events that are being organized to mark this week events. So we have a number of events that will be happening regarding this. So the issue is that we dedicated links to that. So for me, for that purpose, I think my calendar is okay. If you now want to set a reminder, but because we're already there, that reminder thing may not be possible. But we have that item on our calendar already. So which means we can click save and have that done. So the next one would be that could be of interest to me. I think we've seen a number of charts. We've seen a number of charts. I think somebody mentioned climate crisis, health emergencies, food and water crisis, which is really, really good. So what you just have to do is go back to the calendar for the month and start looking for what are relevant. So we have okay, how did we get to April? So we are back in February, World Wetlands Day. I think this will be relevant. This is another thing that is relevant for people covering climate change, right? Or environment. So which is tomorrow. So you can just do something similar. So which means I will try as much as possible to speed up and see how far we can go. What Wetlands Day is Friday. And so we just have, so what wetland day? Like I mentioned, once you have that, for me, all I will have to do is to just get this link for the description, and I will continue to build it as I go. So the next one, probably we should just do what is rare that people have mentioned is which I think a lot of people could be interested in, is International Day for Zero Tolerance to Female Genital Mutilation, which is February 6th. And February 6th is next week, Tuesday, which means you have a couple of days for you to plan for this if you need to speak to somebody. And I think, well, from my experience, planning ahead also gives you the ability to be able to talk to experts on time about this issue. You know, when there is something announced, somebody announces something, and everybody's now rushing to the same number of experts. You may now say that you may be finding it difficult. Genital mutilation, I don't think I need to explain that. So you may be finding it difficult to quickly get response. But when you have it well laid out like this, then it becomes really, 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 really good. So now you can decide which is something that I want to pull out here. This is an annual event. If it's happening on February 6th of every year, so you can permanently have this figured out to say annually on February 6th. So we can also talk about notification if you want to set reminders. if you want to set reminders about when you want to work on this, if you want to tell yourself, okay, 48 hours, a day before, 2 days before that day, that is when I want to put my story ready, or 1 week before that, you have the ability to quickly set that, depending on how long you think it is going to take you to get a story on female genital mutilation ready. So let's say I think I have most of the subs I need for that story. I only need a comment or two, and you think you can get that in 2 days. So what you just need to do is to just click 2 days, and you have it. That is already locked in into your device, into your system. Then for me, I'm a science journalist, so I cover science a lot. So the International Day of Women and Girls in Science is important, is of interest, could be of interest to me, which is February 11. So February 11, we have that. So I would desire, since it's on a Sunday, I would desire to be able to speak to somebody, a female scientist, and you can't be reaching out on Sunday. So I'll probably just say I want to be reminded about it. To be reminded about it. Let's say, let me set 9 a.m. Let's say the date starts at 9 a.m. So all I just need to do is the way it's saying notify me 10 minutes, but no, I wouldn't need 10 minutes. I would need more than 10 minutes for me to be ready. So I can work on my story or just do custom, depending on what works for you. I can just say, remind me 4 days, 4 days before the event, so that I know that once the reminder goes, I quickly send that email to the people that I want to talk to, and I start compiling my story, so that in that way I'm not missing any important days. So you're having an idea of what I intend to talk for us to be aware of. So the next day that is, I think some people may be interested in, is International Day for the Prevention of Violent Extremism as and when conducive to terrorism. So this could be of interest to you. The same rule follows. So once you have an idea of the flow, this is not of interest to me, but could be of interest to people. So I just put it in our calendar. And February 12th, I have that. Okay, sorry. February 12th, I have that. So you can put additional details regarding where to get more information about it. So that is an idea of. So World Radio Day, I think this could be relevant to us and in the forum, because we have radio journalists, and if I want to do something on this, I just pick. But if I desire that we have a webinar on radio, I wouldn't have to wait until February 13 to have somebody to bring on the panel. So I'd rather say probably 1 week, or I think 2 weeks. Okay, let's just put it at 1 week, because we don't have that number of days ahead already. So we have World Radio Day in our calendar already. Then Global Tourism Resilience. I don't think that is of interest. Justice, World Day of Social Justice. I know you may find it very, very boring, but the truth of the matter is, if you're able to take time out to do this one step after another, if you're able to actually properly design this, then it will really, really make your work easier, especially with the number of devices that people have. For the World Day of Justice, I can, because we are now in 28th, we have more than 2 weeks. I can tell it to remind me in the next 2 weeks about it so that I can start planning what I want to do about it. So International Mother Language Days. Now, before I leave February and go to the next month, I just want to emphasize something. This is not, the UN website is not the only place for you to get information about days or whatever is happening. So we'll still stick with February so that I can show you other sources to have insights on what is happening. One of the platforms that I've been using that I keep personally use is awarenessdays.com. So I will still look at the days that they have lined up for February. They have Black History Month. They have it from February 1 to 29. So what that is happening. They also are celebrating this LGBT and National Children's Dental Health. So if you are somebody that you're interested in health, it may be very, very important for you. So the same rules apply. Let me try and import one of these to to our to our calendar. Like I said, not all of these days are relevant to everybody, but you can. So, they said World Cancer Day, 2024. They put it on February 4. Oh, they want us to pay, but you don't really. I don't think you need to pay for something like this. So all you have to do is just copy World Cancer Day 2024, get a new tab. You can see Sunday, February 4th, so we can import that into our calendar. For this, I'll probably require it since today is on the 1st. I may probably just ask for 2 days, 2 days before by 9 a.m. So I do this. Now, because it's just 2 days ahead, because I only have 2 days, this is something you can do in this kind of situation. If I'm trying to plan a story, I will start asking myself, what are the relevant tools I will need to develop the story? Then you can now start being smart. I think I saw something about global cancer report that was released recently. I think WHO did something on that recently around. So you go to the WHO's website. So yeah, I think I'm correct. So this was released, the latest estimate of the global burdens of cancer. So if you are doing health, this is just, it was released today, and it would really, really, this is Global Cancer Observatory. So you can have, it's an opportunity for you to update the information that is being shared regarding this. So for me, I'll just pull this into my document. That's a press release, but I'm not just staying with the press release. Where's the WHO website again? So I'll have to just come here and start asking myself, okay, what is the latest estimate globally? Because I'm in Nigeria, I'm a Nigerian journalist, and my focus is on Africa. I can just say, let's start from the Africa perspective. What is happening in Africa? So this is a population fact sheet, sorry, tongue twister. Population fact sheet for Africa. So I can ask myself what is important. So number of new cases is nearly 1.2 million. I know for people that only do quick stories, this is enough for them. But really, what you can do is you can still, okay, very good. You can look at prevalence and data, probably the trend. Are we recording reduction over the years? Um, are we recording growth, increase in new cases? Now, because this report is new, you have different options. You can either reach out to, probably there is a cancer research expert for you to discuss this so that you bring the story into current relevance, or you deal with it from another perspective, which is what I often do, which is talk to people in my country that are publishing on this issue. So let's say I want to do for Nigeria, what I just have to do is go to the country by country and see if they have data on Nigeria. So this is the data on Nigeria. So because this is the data of Nigeria, and I will let my story be on what they have, I will try to find expert sources. So let me show you how I do that. So there is a platform called Google Scholar, scholar.google.com. All I have to do is type cancer Nigeria. Then you might decide that, okay. Because his incidence is more recently, you can talk about how many years in recent, let's say somebody that has published in the last 1 year. So we have this since 2023. And so World Cancer Day, promoted cancer through prevention through World Cancer Day in Nigeria. So these people, they published in the Lancet. So I can click the article link. This is the lead author for that. If you see this small box, you see that, okay, sorry. It's already hyperlinked to send an email. So all I have to do is copy email address, go back to my calendar and say expert source for Nigeria. That is the email address of that person. I can just copy the name. And I'm going to show you, because I've gotten the email address, I've gotten the name. I can just as well send this person an email. So this person is aware that I'm interested in actually reporting on this issue. So all I have to do is uh, compose an email and send to this person right away, such that you can say, okay, you are working on this story on your country, and you would like these experts' comments regarding the latest figures about the country. You drop that email, ask for the earliest availability so that you can have that conversation and you have your story. So that is how I would advise to do. As you can see, this is programmed into my calendar. The details are there, and gradually my story evolved. And this is a reason why you have to use multiple sources for your calendar building, so that you are very confident that it is it is highly robust. Another source that I would like for us to go through is, oh, okay, good, the link to the cancer research. I'm going to give you, so this is it. This is a link to the cancer research. If you are working on that story, and this applies globally. As you can see, there are global estimates, there are regional estimates, there are national estimates too. And don't be worried about this 2022 thing, because for cancer data, that is the most recent. It doesn't mean that you have data for last year. These things they do it every 2 years, if not more than that. So this is the most recent data as published. So but you could see that I had to use awareness days to come back to that. And I think the next source that I want to show you is you're already saying something that is similar, which is you actually searching for what is the latest report. If a report is happening, if a new report is being released, it could actually be an opportunity for you to write a story so that you are not just writing stories around a global day. So you can just run a Google search for major reports publishing soon. So if you have a major report publishing soon, one of the things that you can get is if it's climate change, UN has a really good template for climate change. As you can see, these are the reports that it has in its archive. And so, which means if we are building up to a report, some of those publishing organizations, international research organizations are always trying to build momentum for their reports. So, if you know an international organization that is releasing a report, they're always interested in talking to journalists to amplify the reach of such reports as much as possible. So you can, even though those days are not happening, if it's a report that is forthcoming, you can also easily load it uh, onto your calendar, and you have something like that. You can have. So I'm not sure when this was conducted. Oh, okay. It was released in March 2023, so it may have been for long. But let's say peradventure, this is going to be March 2024. You can easily just put it in your calendar and say, okay, this report will be released so and so date, so that you can do two things. If there is an event that you ought to attend, then you will be able to you'll be able to actually, if there is a release event that you ought to attend, then you'll be able to actually attend those briefings, and we have that's sorted out. So by having this system in place, you have a free-flowing system that you can continue to work on. It's a live document, it's a live resource that will continually be updated. Another thing that I think is also important is not just reports, but conferences, big events. For instance, the World Health Organization had its executive board meeting last week. I think I shared the link to that executive board meeting in the group. So you can have that loaded in your calendar. But from the event, I heard that there's another event that is happening, which is, they call it COP10. So let's say you are not sure what COP10 is. It's not, so it's already bringing that COP10 in Panama. So I'm just using that as an example for the sake of being able to probably, okay, good background. This event is around tobacco, tobacco control. And it's a big conference. Key players in this sector will be attending, and you'll be hearing lots of policies, lots of discussions. So if this is of interest to you as a health journalist, you can also add this to your calendar, which is 5 to 10 of 10 Panama. So which is February 5 of 10 Panama. You can put it in bracket tobacco control. The same rule applies here. 5 to 10. I think it's 5 to 10 if I'm absolutely correct. Okay, yes, I'm right. February 5 to 10. So you have that in your calendar already, more options. So you can relevant links for me. I'll just put all the relevant links that I can get on this event in the description. Since it's a conference, you can pitch to your editors already ahead that, okay, this conference is happening, and I actually be assigned to cover it. And this is a good trick, a tip for freelancers. I'm a freelancer, so I'm giving away one of my good tips. Some journalists will just be scampering around during this conference. Oh, this conference is happening, and start pitching. But for somebody like me, immediately I'm saying this, I'm already emailing my editors that this conference is happening next week or 2 weeks' time. I would like to cover and actually file in a report such that you are ahead of the all of the competition, and you already have a story assigned to you, and you already have plans. You can also be asking people around who will be attending, and you can also be following the conversation on social media. For instance, last night I went, sorry, I know we are talking a lot about this, so you can just type up 10 Panama. So this is what you see. Uh, this is what you see around the conversations that people, there are already some side events that are happening, and no thanks or no thanks to COVID, lots of these events will be live streamed, and there are lots of resources already. So you can see the Global State of Tobacco Reduction, they're already sharing resources archive for you to actually have access to. So I this is what I would always present. So this is for health. Like I said, if you are a journalist that is covering the environment, you can just talk about major environment conference. So you can. So my issue is okay, Heart Summit. Okay. So okay, we have this. This is how you just search. Sometimes there is no central database for all the events. You just have to be putting it and doing this hard work together on your own. But if it's effectively done, if you are strategic, if you're able to put some time aside to actually do this, you can just be getting notified of these things that are happening, and you wouldn't just be stressing yourself and everything. Let's say there is a 2024 version of the Heart Summit. Heart Summit 2024 climate change. So where is it? Where is the Heart Summit happening? So I think you have an idea what I'm trying to say here. So you build your own, you can customize it, you can use it as you want. And yeah, when there's another one I think what bank you may think is a bank, but uh they have lots of reports on their page too that I think would so now, exactly, January 2024, report highlights. So this was released in 2024 in January. So you can use these two to also plan whatever you are trying to do. So let me look at the chat box and see what other specific issues people mentioned that I've not been able to talk about. We talked, somebody asked about food and water crisis. I think food prices. Now, one of these, the Global Food Crisis Report covers food crisis. There was a 2023 version. So the day on 12, 2024 has not been released, but we have people already talking about it. So many times you may have to just put that in or try to walk in through some of these issues. For instance, if we have one thing I would like to talk about is if we have a conference and that you think it doesn't have to be zero focus on that particular subject that you are talking about. It only has to be very, very similar. it only has to be very, very similar. For instance, the WHO's executive board meeting that I mentioned, they would have agenda, and food crisis or water crisis could actually be one of the agendas on that list. Then don't forget, we only did for February. So if you are looking at some of those dates, again, let's continue with how we were looking at it. Let me see. Let's quickly scan through if we can have something that is similar, that is relevant for you. Zero Discrimination Day, which is in March 1. I think UNAIDS, that is some people that are reporting on HIV and other forms of discrimination. International Women's Day, put it on March 8th. International Day of Women Judges, if you are covering law, if you are a law-focused journalist, that is of interest. International Day to Combat Islamophobia, International Day of Happiness, French language, International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, World Poetry Day, World Down Syndrome Day. Okay, yes, somebody that mentioned water crisis. So we have March 22, 2022. So World Water Day. So all we have to do is lift this, get this, March 22. So which means you have enough, you can really, really plan ahead and do something really good. March 22, World Water Day. So for World Water Day, we can have the link. We can have this link, and you can have insights on straightforward concepts and background information on what the key metrics are. 2.2 billion people still live without safely managed drinking water, including 115 million who drink surface water. So the key messages for this year are already here. The key messages are already here, and we have a report already. So this is a report for you to be on the lookout for, which is the UN's World Water Development Report. So this will be released on this day. These are previous versions. So the report will be released on World Water Day. So you may as well just put the link so that you can have it. Report. This is a report to be on the lookout for if you are covering water. So we have lots of issues that are very important on this aspect. We have sanitation, we have hygiene, we have collaborations. So it's also connected to World Toilet Day. So I think World Toilet Day is on November 19. So yeah, so that is how you easily do it. So I would always recommend going through. Don't, even if it's on a Saturday, or you can just take some hours off. If I'm doing this on my own, I can easily know the issues that are of interest to me, and I can easily. So I'm trying to actually do some for the issues that I cover personally. You might as well be doing your own right now. So if you're an environment journalist, this should be of interest for you. International Day of Forests. So a relevant report is here, which would actually complement your story. So March 21. Still an environment, World Meteorological Day. So this covers weather, climate, and water across generations. So World Meteorological Day is March 23. So if you're covering health, we also have a World Tuberculosis Day, March 24. So this is International Day of Zero Waste. So if you're an environment journalist. So this year, hopefully, one of the reasons why this is also important for us is to be able to use it to guide. You will see some applications of this in the way we conduct webinars so that we can publicly share this tool, and journalists will not just will not be struggling with finding something to write and being able to write something that is good, so that you're not just doing something that you woke up to write about on that day. So the truth of the matter is, even if you are not putting any link in the calendar, once you set the day in the calendar and you have your reminder set, once your reminder kicks in, you can start actually doing what you can do. So I think you have an idea right now of what this looks like. And I'd love you to also give it a try. And I think something that I would like to do is to share it, and hopefully, let me see. So once it's ready, you can, okay, I'm trying to share with you. So this is the link. If you're interested in having this calendar that we just created, that is the link right there. I would like one or two people that can click it to click it right now and see if we can actually access it so that it is open source. People can work on it, and you can add to it. We can continually expand upon it. So please click that link and let's see if it's working for you. So anyway, that's, oh, saying no permission to, okay, let me try and thank you for that feedback. Let's get what is happening and see what we can do about that. Oh, okay. Now I understand. Now I understand. Get shareable link. Copy. So let's give it a go again. So please click the latest link. Let me see if you can access it. So what is this saying now? Do you have access? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please don't just look at it, hard to it. Let's work on this together. It can be collaborative. It's a tool that we can make to serve as purpose as we can. If you can put in 5 minutes right now, you can put it 10 minutes to add more events, more days to it that you think is relevant, so that others can also benefit from it. They can expand it, they can work on it. That would be great. So please and please, I'm really hoping I can start seeing this that we can both be interested in covering. And from an organizational point of view, this is also something that you can use within your media organization. If you lead a media team, if you lead a media house, and you want things to be more organized, you want things to be more structured, you want things to be, you want better, you want reports, storytelling to be much better than what they currently are. All you have to do is continue to expand them so that you have something just like I have it. You can share it within an organization. You can also share it within you and just make it very limited. So I'm hoping to see, to always refer to this, please and please, please and please, at least let's make a pledge that you contribute at least five 5 important days to this calendar, and let's set the notification to at least 1 week. If you can set 5 days, each with 1 week reminder to this calendar, that would really, really, really be great. I really, really want to thank you. I'd like to know if I just want to have a quick feedback. Are you okay with sessions like this that we attempt to try and do something collaboratively? Let me know what you think regarding this style. Not just talking about issues, but actually working together to develop something like this. So this is how calendar development works. This is how you can simply put things together, and this is how you can have a much better, well-coordinated crisis reporting calendar. I really want to thank everybody that attended this session. I don't want to drag this on longer than I'm supposed to. But really, really, the reason I'm just trying to hang around is to see if I can see one or two new events popping up in the calendar. So that you don't just have to create your own, but you can actually add to what we've already created. So thank you very much. And I hope you've enjoyed this session and would like to hear from you. My name is Paul Adepoju. If you are not part of our Facebook forum, I just want to encourage you to be part of our Facebook forum. We are very, very robust and very, very active on Facebook. Our forum member number continues to grow and we get to share information, tools, and resources. So if you are not a member of our Facebook forum, I just put the link on Facebook on the in the chat box right now. Yes, I just hope that you are part of us, and this will be our collaborative project for the year, such that at the end of the year, we can convincingly say that we have a robust crisis reporting calendar that you can use. Like I said, it would be nice if you don't attempt to repeat it and do it separately, but instead add on to it add on to it and add on to it. Let's see what you are working on. Let's see the events piling up. Let's see the notifications getting set. And I am going to be really, really grateful and appreciative if we can start this journey together, helping each other, not just sharing links to these tools, but actually developing our own. We are not developers, we are not keys, but I believe on need basis, we can build useful tools that can actually serve our purpose. So my name is Paul Adepoju, and I'm the community manager for the International Center for Journalists, Pamela Howard Forum on Global Crisis Reporting. Hopefully this year will be much different. Hopefully this year will be much more better in reporting, and I hope to see how this evolves and this partnership and working together between journalists in different parts of the world. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.